Hello there, HitTheRopes.com and HTRMMA's Chris Massari back here to give you a UFC 116 preview. Alright, for the first matchup, we got Kurt Pellegrino versus George Starotajopoulos. I can't even say his name. The Greek guy. Right off the bat, I'm going Kurt Pellegrino, the Jersey native, a fellow dirty Jerseyan. I gotta give it to him. His jiu-jitsu's nice, his takedowns are great, and his stand-ups are alright. Starotajopoulos. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this guy's name. I just know he's Greek. He's also a great guy on the ground. Go with the takedowns. He just came off a win of Joe Stevenson. I mean, his last couple, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of his last 5 fights, 4 were wins by submission. So he's got a great ground game. So I see this fight going Kurt Pellegrino and Starotajopoulos both going at it on the ground, being a ground war. I think Pellegrino's going to come up with either a TKO victory or a submission victory in the third round. That's what I see end up happening. Alright, next up we got, I do believe, Stephan Bonner and Christian Szczynski. I guess Szczynski in this one. I mean, he's got power. He can punch. He's not the most technical striker, but he's got some power in his hands. He's good enough on the ground where Bonner's not going to be able to bother him too much there. So, I mean, Stephan Bonner, even though he was on the tough finale and he went toe-to-toe with Forrest Griffin for all 3 rounds, he's kind of fell off since John Bone Jones, and I don't see him come back anymore on this one. I see him getting beat striking and just not being able to control Szczynski on the ground. I see Szczynski most likely winning by KO in the second round, or they go into the decision with Szczynski for the win. Next up, we have Chris Little versus Matt Brown. This is a tough one. I mean, I think Little, he's got the experience, obviously. He's 38, 17, and 4. That's a lot of fights. He's got everything from knockouts to submissions, mostly submissions, but he's got everything there's to do. Then you got Matt Brown, who's only 13 and 8. That's not that good of a record. He can finish too, obviously. His last 5 fights have all been finishes, except for one was a split decision, so obviously he's 4 out of 5. My bad. But I see him possibly, most likely being the war of the night. I don't see HTRMMA and leaving at a war, and I don't see Carwin. I definitely don't see Carwin and Lesnar going to war. That's going to end quickly. But this one, I see this being the war of the night, most likely the fight night. I see these guys going back and forth. I see going all 3 rounds. I see Chris Little coming up on top for the decision win. Alright, next up we got HTRMMA and Chris Lieben. Yeah, I know, folks, we're all hoping for HTRMMA and Wanderlei, but Wanderlei's hurt, it's out, so Lieben's not the best replacement, but he's a good replacement on such short notice. HTRMMA, his last fight, UFC 100, dude, that was a great fight. Went back and forth. I'm surprised he didn't win with some of those punches. He's a good fighter. He's 13-1-0, 2 no contest. Lieben as well. He's Chris Lieben. He's a guy with a big punch. That's about it. I see HTRMMA taking him down for most of the fight with his judo, a little ground and pound when they're up on their feet. I see HTRMMA out technicalizing his striking, out technicalizing Chris Lieben in the striking. I see him dominating always, of course. Lieben's not had a lot of time to train for this. Obviously, Akiyama has been training for Wanderlei, but there's not too much difference in Lieben and Wanderlei's style. They're both brawlers and just swinging for the fence until they knock the crap out of the opponent. Although Wanderlei is much better than that at Lieben, I still see it being the same type of training that HTRMMA has been training for. So I see him doing very well. Obviously, Lieben has had no time for this fight. So besides the fact that he hasn't had enough time training, I think HTRMMA is a better fighter. I see him dominating striking, takedowns, ground, jiu-jitsu or judo, whatever. In all aspects of the game, I see Sexyama dominating. I say TKO second round or submission second round. I see this whole night being a lot of finishes, other than obviously the last fight, Little and Brown. Next up, I believe it's the main event. Yep, according to the UFC fight card, we have the big guys, Shane Carwin and Brock Lesnar, for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. I see this fight either ending in the first round within like the first minute, or going in the second round and ending. But it's not going all 5 rounds, not at all. Both of these guys are huge. They're massive. Shane Carwin has Galacticus in one fist and Unicron in the other. And Brock Lesnar is a gorilla who will take you down and beat your face into the canvas until you're like halfway dead. Just look at Frank Mir. He got just bleh. He's done. So, this fight, I'll tell you my pick now, and then we'll get to why I think he's going to win. I have to go team Shane Carwin. Why? He's a better striker. A much better striker. He has a lot more power. Obviously, we haven't seen his ground game. We haven't seen really much of his takedown defense, but a few times he has looked like he's been about to be taken down. He's done very well to stop it and keep things standing. We've seen his chin tested. Now, the reason I don't think Lesnar's going to win, I don't think Lesnar's going to have the chance to take him down. If he takes him down, I'd probably have to give the takedown game to Lesnar being able to take Shane Carwin down a lot better than Shane Carwin can take Lesnar down. But Shane Carwin's training with Greg Jackson's camp. They produce champions. I mean, they got GSP. You got Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans. You got John Bone Jones training there. You got Nate Marquardt. You have so many guys, whether they're not champions, they're just high contenders. They have a great camp out there, and you got Carwin training. I mean, he's being trained by some really good guys. I mean, obviously, Lesnar he's being trained by Couture right now, but I have to give it, Carwin's coming out of a good camp. Carwin hasn't made it out of the first round in his fights. He knocks people out in, like, all of his fights. I mean, not all of them, but you can look at his record online. If you're watching this, you have the internet, so you can look up and see his record. I don't feel like going through that right now, but no. I very much see Carwin just dominating just because of the striking. I don't see Lesnar being able to take him down. Look what Carwin did to Mir. He finished Mir faster than Lesnar did. And I wouldn't say more efficiently, but he finished him faster. I mean, look at the comment. Remember, Frank Mir made the comment. Shane Carwin is a better version of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came back to say, if Shane Carwin is a better version of me, he'll finish Frank Mir faster than I finished him. Well, Shane Carwin did that. So, that being said, I see either Shane Carwin knocking Lesnar out in the first round or TKOing him in the second round. Lesnar doesn't have the striking abilities, and he doesn't look like he likes getting hit. If you watch his Couture fight, you watch his Mir fight, he gets hit, he doesn't like it, he wants to go right to the ground. Couture and Mir, don't get me wrong, can hit, but they can't hit like Shane Carwin. Shane Carwin has like whole entire universes worth of power in his fist. And so, Shane Carwin, FTW, by first round KO or second round TKO. So, I'll have a preview up on the site, HTRMMA.com, if you didn't already know. I'll have a Shane Carwin, Brock Lesnar preview up. So check out HTRMMA.com. Like always, support us, give us some views. My picks up. I'm sure Darius will have his stuff up soon. We're also looking for writers for the site, so hit us up at HTRMMA@gmail.com if you're interested in writing for us, and obviously check out the site. And have a wonderful night, folks.